Okay, in this part of the tutorial I'm going to cover how to link the Scratcher deck speed to the tempo. In real scratching, part of the skill and part of endlessly practicing is to be able to move the deck and the fader really quickly. And if you look at the videos on Spiro's website, you can see that after much practice he's able to perform scratches in real time, which is amazing. One day maybe I'll be able to do that, but I'm impatient and I want to be able to perform those kind of scratches now. And part of the advantage of this whole system being digital is that we should be able to perform everything at half speed, where it's nice and easy to perform some of these more complicated scratch techniques and then afterwards speed it up. So the key to that is within the Scratcher you have this speed control here. So if you turn this down, you can hear the speed of the deck slows down. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up, using a formula controller, a way to keep the speed control linked to the tempo. Now this might seem a little bit complicated, but keep in mind that you only have to do this once. I spent a week or so figuring out how to get this set up, and then saved it as a template so that I can just load this up straight away. I don't have to mess around with these controllers anymore, and it's all nice and easy. So to do this, we have to make a formula controller. So that comes under an effect. So if you bring up the mixer and in a new effect slot, create a new fruity formula controller, which is this thing here. So this lets you do all sorts of complicated effects and whatnot, but in this case we don't need any of that. All we need is just the value of the first knob here. So in the formula we can actually delete the whole thing apart from the letter A, because the A value is the only thing we're using. So just going to backspace over that and then hit enter, and that's now fine. That's now ready to use. So the next thing is to make this value drive the speed knob. So what we're going to use is we want to be able to drive through this knob when it's at its lowest value, like it is now. We want the deck to be at half speed, and then say we want to hear it at 1.5 times its normal speed. If we push the knob to the other extreme, we want the speed knob to be at 1.5. So this is how we set that up. If you right click on the speed control and choose link to controller, and with the internal controller this time we're going to be linking it to the formula control, and there it is there. Now to make it map through so that we have half speed at its lowest value and 1.5 times its speed at its maximum value, we have to enter a mapping formula here. Now this I got to through a bit of trial and error, so just accept that that this is the right way to do it. Although if you know of a better way, then please let me know. So the formula is 0.25 plus, then open bracket, input, times, which is an asterisk symbol, which is shift 8, 0.5, then close brackets, then hit accept, and that's it. So now if I drag this A value down to its lowest value, you can see if you look up in the help window here, if you look at the speed value now, if you hover over it, you can see that the turntable speed is now 0.5. And then if I push the value of A to its maximum value, the speed goes to 1.5. So now we've got that set up correctly. So if I let that play through and change the value of A, you can see that we're now driving the speed of the scratcher. So that's one half of it set up. The next half is to drive the tempo of the song through the same knob. So we link it through in a similar way. You right click on the tempo and choose link to controller, and again the internal controller is the formula control, and this formula is slightly different. This formula is open bracket input plus 0.5 close bracket multiplied by 0.07, and hit enter so it compiles, and then accept. So what that does is, if I tweak the value of A and then reset it, you can see that the tempo is now 79 beats per minute. I found that to be a good basic hip-hop speed. And then if I set the tempo down to its lowest value, the tempo goes down to 44, which is roughly halfway. And then if I set the tempo, the A value to its maximum, the tempo goes up to 113. So it's not entirely accurate in terms of being half speed and double speed, but it's close enough. Now what this means though is that you can no longer click and drag on the tempo value to change the speed. To set the default song speed, you have to edit that expression. What that and the value is that last value there, the 0.07. It roughly corresponds to that value times 100 plus 10. So the easiest way to think of it is, at the moment it's 0.07. That roughly corresponds to 80 beats per minute. So if you needed 90 beats per minute, you would make that 0.8. So it's 80 plus 10. If you want 100 beats per minute, you would make that 0.9, and so on. So by default, in all of my scratching examples, I tend to work with that at 0.07. If anyone knows a better way of getting this set up, ideally I would want to have the speed of the scratcher directly linked to the tempo, but I couldn't find a way to do that. So this is how I've got it working at the moment. So now you can see as I drag the A knob, you can see both the tempo up here and the speed knob change in unison.